Hello, North Dakota. My name is Patrick Hart, and I want to welcome you to another episode of Open Range. I've been provided the opportunity to guest host a show every week that leans a little more left than you're used to, but don't worry. Very grounded views, a couple great people to talk to today. Myself, I'm a contractor here in Bismarck. I typically have dirt under my nails like I do today. I get dirty for a living, grew up on a farm from a small town, so I'm about as North Dakota as all y'all are as well. I have been in politics for, a little over a decade. I've served as state party chair, vice chair, ran for state office a couple times. But at the end of the day, I put my pants on one leg at a time. So before we get to our interview, my question to you guys today is, what happens when the good people don't show up and the wrong people do? I think we're going to have a significant change in the way our government works, and I want to make sure that we don't see that anymore in North Dakota. So with that, I want to turn to a couple of people today, Natalie Mclaughlin and Mike Thiesen, who are some good people who have been showing up. Natalie, Mike, how you doing today?
Hi, good, thanks. Thank you for having us here.
Have you ever been on TV before?
I'm not.
So I'll just put you out there right away. You're a little nervous today?
No, not at all.
Don't be. It's going to be fine. Mike, you ever done anything like this before?
I've done a few things like this.
Okay. Well, really quick. So, Natalie, you are military?
I grew up in a military family, so not military myself, but I did grow up in a military. It's kind of how I ended up here in North Dakota. I met somebody who was getting out of the military back in Washington, but I'd moved around so much, and then the decision was like, well, what should we do? We should move back home to where he's from. And I just had a son, and 20 years later in a career and some now politics, it's a good place to call home.
I've been in Bismarck 22 years.
Mhm.
I moved here on my 21st birthday. My parents said, you're going to find a nice Catholic girl at that private school and you're never going to leave.
How'd
And
that
they were
work out?
right.
Yeah. I found a lot of North Dakotans too. You guys might move away and like for a little while, but you always come back. Like it's a good place to call home. And
Do you have a favorite base, favorite place you were at?
I mean, it was mostly in Washington where we were, but I mean, like I was born in Illinois and we moved all around Washington. I went to like 8 different schools growing up, but no, I'm so used to, I like it here now. I go back home and I'm like, this is nice, but I kind of miss the space, the people.
You know, I have 42 states, 7 countries. My favorite place is definitely Bismarck, not even my hometown. Bismarck's a little warmer than everywhere else in the state. We have the river, we have amazing culture and community. So if you came back to North Dakota, I wouldn't blame you either.
Yeah, it's been an adventure. I love it. So,
Mike,
Yes.
what about you? You small town?
I was born in Minot, raised in
Okay.
Minot, lived in and around Minot for most of my life. About 10 years ago, my wife and I decided to buy a home in Surrey, and I fell in love with the community. By a twist of fate, I ended up on city council.
Okay.
Did that for 4 years. Decided that I wanted to make a bigger impact. Went for mayor, got mayor, running for mayor again. Hopefully we'll have that here again in June. And then decided to swing for the state. So
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for your service. What do you do for a profession? How do you make your money?
I'm an electrician.
Okay.
I local IBW,
Okay.
714. And I taught for 11 years up there too, teaching apprentices.
Oh.
So I do my best to make sure that when I'm done with this thing, there'll be people to take over for me.
Is your union shop the one on North, I would call it State Street, north side on the east side of the road?
No.
Just by the airport?
Nope.
Okay. There's a union hall up there though.
Oh, that's where the hall is.
The
Yes.
hall is, okay.
You said shop. So
Shop,
I was thinking
yeah.
shop. Yeah.
Fair enough. So you guys are running for office.
Yes.
What makes you qualified? Why are you running? Do you want to go first?
sure. Like, well, so with me, it was kind of one of those, I've always been growing up in a military family. Like that's a big part of, it's important for us to vote. I voted every year since I was 18, but that's kind of where it ended. You know, like you watch it, you pay attention to the local stuff and you vote for people, but then you kind of just let it go on its own. And I took a different career path, but I definitely felt I needed to do more. You know, you watch the news and there's just so much talk. I didn't feel like every time I went to the polls, there wasn't anybody that looked like me or, you know, like that I could represent. It just sounded like a lot of extra things and not the important things. And what's the option? You can complain about it or you could show up and do stuff. So I showed up and what could I do? And it was this, do this. So
Did you have a specific call to action, like one moment that was the straw that broke the camel's back?
I mean, the last couple of years has been a lot of things. I've worked as a paramedic for 15 years in the state, so you just see things. They work differently, you know, from rural EMS to hospitals, critical access hospitals and stuff like that. Seeing it get worse and worse and worse, and it not being addressed or not being pushed back, and then just the more extra stuff that you heard about that wasn't really. I don't think what was important matters, you know, like
Sure.
I've got a kid, my kid's also in the National Guard while he's out in college, and it's things that I think I want him to stay here. I want him to be able to live in North Dakota and work on these things, not other stuff.
I like this idea of the boomerang theory of kids.
Mhm.
You get out of high school, go to college, go see the world, whatever you do. Maybe it's not college, maybe it's trade school or the military.
Mhm.
And then you come back and you lean into North Dakota.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, my guidance counselor showed me all these jobs in California. You can make all this money. She never once told me I could be a welder and I could work at RDO or stick around. I grew up on the border, you know, immigrations, customs jobs were left and right. And I think that people need to go out, see that world, come back, make a difference in their communities.
And it's big. Like a lot of where we live, especially, is, you know, it's a city, but it's also very rural. There's a lot of rural things that there's not a whole lot of opportunity, and that affects everything. People move away, kids move away. We want our kids to stay. We want them to live here. You know, my son's in his second year at NDSU, and he's in the ag program, and now he's looking at even furthering that and doing stuff like being a large equine vet and going back to the farm that his family homesteaded and was raised on, and rebuilding that and doing that. And I think that's important to grow the whole state, to grow everything, to make everything else better. So
Absolutely is. Mike, what prompted you to action? What was your call to step into the political light? You've been doing this. You were city commission before you were mayor?
Yeah, I was on council. Then went to mayor. The gist of it is of why I wanted into this whole thing was I really just want to grow North Dakota. And I also feel that the way that politics are set up now is everything's always focused on national. Like that's all anybody really cares about. I'm trying to refocus everything back on the rural, back on the local. I wish that urban areas in the state make up the vast majority of the population in our state. And I feel like people in Bismarck, you try to make the most efficient, most conservative choice with your money. There's only so many state dollars that are available. A lot of that money gets pushed towards the bigger cities. You got 3 cities in the state: Bismarck, Mandan area, Fargo, and then you got Grand Forks area. That's almost 60% of the state.
Sure.
Just by population. So a lot of the rest of the state pretty much gets overlooked. I want to try and refocus the attention of the state back onto the rural part of the state, because whether it's hospitals closing, whether it's people moving out of the state, there are ridiculous amounts of opportunity in rural North Dakota, whether it's working at an elevator, whether it's working construction, there's a plethora of options for people. And I feel shining a little bit of light on that would really help. It'll help my district. That's what I'm really concerned about. So.
No, I hear you. And I got to almost apologize to my hometown. I left, and it wasn't even an option for me to stick around. I grew up on a farm.
You go where you got to go, though.
I wanted to go see the lights. And now I look back, there's amazing jobs back home that are paying equal or more than what I make here. But, you know, we have a family, and, you know, I've made my bed and I'm going to lay in it.
You've put your roots down in Bismarck.
Exactly.
I want to get people to put their roots down in my smaller communities.
Well, and what I think is interesting about that is that if you ask me about my upbringing, like I loved small town dances. I loved Class B schools. I loved knowing all my teachers, all my kids. We just did prom for my son in Bismarck. There's like 400 people. In our town, there was like 45.
Yeah.
And I loved that small town feel, but I also chose to move. And I think that disconnect is interesting, why people decide to leave these places that they had such great upbringings in.
They leave for options, but those options are in the small towns too. They just
Right.
they're not as easy to see.
Sure.
I think
So-
a lot of too, like, and it ties into sort of like the call for action of more of that too, is I've really fallen in love with, like a city girl, and I ended up moving out to a farm in Partial that used to be a dairy farm, and grandpa got us a horse, and there's tons of really fun stories about that are really entertaining, but you meet the people, and it's, I don't know, it's, you kind of love it and you want to grow it and see it expand. But then like in our district, when you're looking at things and what people are running in and the people that were like in office, and they're making big headlines saying some pretty I inflammatory things, or things that are just not I think the core of what's important, not of, we're kind of really running on our like we're neighbors, like it's
Mhm.
not a divisive thing, like whether you're a Republican or a Democrat or whatnot. I mean, it should really matter is who you are. Like, do I know you personally? Because you're going to be representing me. So do I like you? Do I trust you? Are you just a special interest group, or do you care about, again, your neighbors? So
I'm watching on TV this F1 show, and they have all their logos on their arms and race cars.
oh, you
And
should
we
make them
kind
do
of
that
joke
for
about it, but
politics.
I think they should do that for politics. Who's really bought that
That's a
pocket
great
and
idea.
who's making those campaign donations? Because I know that I've never gotten a check from
Yeah, same.
any big $10,000,
No.
$20,000 donor that's has lobbyists, and that's not been my experience in politics.
We're everyday regular people doing real jobs, like I don't make a ton of money doing my job, and neither do you, and we have families and stuff like that. So it's not a, hey, what can you do for me to get into politics? It's, we want to see things change for everybody. So
No, I absolutely love it. And with that, you guys, we're going to head out to our first commercial break of the day. Thanks for tuning in with my friends Natalie and Mike, and we will be back after the short commercial break.
Stop out to our facility, Highway 22 South. Let us build a truck for you.
Find relief for what ails you at Steep Me Tea Apothecary. Teas, supplements, tinctures, and more. Formulated to fight whatever has you down. We're Bismarck Mandan's favorite place to find delicious, natural, and easy ways to alleviate symptoms brought on by anything from colds to cancer. Brew a better you at Steep Me Tea Apothecary. Steep Me products may cause side effects, including but not limited to improved mood, deeper sleep, enhanced hydration, renewed sense of smell, increased energy levels, superior balance, boosted immunity, proper digestion, restored sense of calm, and a delightful smelling home.
Welcome to Arrowhead Cleaners. Newly renovated, modernized, and ready to make your cleaning needs hassle-free. From commercial and residential wash and fold laundry services to the latest in professional dry cleaning techniques, we are dedicated to your unique needs, offering alterations, fabrications, and even custom hat making. So whether you're a busy professional, a family on the go, or even a rodeo champion, Arrowhead Cleaners is here to take your things from messed up to dressed up. Now celebrating our 64th year in Arrowhead Plaza.
Welcome to Radiant Retreat Tanning and Spa in Mandan, where a relaxing spa experience meets the latest in healing innovations. Take total control of your massage in our Hydro Massage Bed. Experience whole body healing in our Zero Body Cryo Bed. Let our salt sauna and halo generator restore your respiratory and skin health. And of course, tailored tanning will keep you looking as good as you feel. Discover your best self at Radiant Retreat, 1307 First Street Northeast, Mandan.
Are you dealing with arthritis, nerve and back pain, dry skin, or superficial wounds, but found no relief? Give Stewart's Natural Health a try. For over 4 decades, Stewart's Natural Health has been helping people and animals with herbal and natural oil lotions, ointments, and creams with a mission to help you relieve pain and feel your best using the power of nature. Discover the safe, drug-free solution to your pain, guaranteed or your money back. Visit stewartsnatural.health today.
West River Equipment of Mandan is here to help you maintain peak productivity in your operation. As an authorized dealer for many high-quality equipment lines, we have the new and used equipment it takes to make your farming, ranching, or construction operation profitable and efficient. West River Equipment also has the parts on hand and the experienced technicians in our shop to get your equipment back in action fast. Find what you need at West River Equipment on Old Red Trail in Mandan.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for sticking through that commercial break. My name is Patrick Hart, hosting Open Range, and I have a couple friends, Mike Thiesen and Natalie Mclaughlin, both running for Senate and House, respectively, in District 3, which is Minot Rural East. Am I right with that?
Yeah, it goes right from downtown Minot all the way to the county line off to the east.
Okay, so you do get
So
part of the
Surrey
city.
and-
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
So Mike, we kind of touched on it earlier. Surrey mayor.
Yes.
I'm tell you what, I'm honest, nothing but honest here. Surrey's like 10 minutes east of Minot, right?
Roughly, yes.
I
I'll
had to
give you
Google
that.
it. When I heard Surrey, I was like, I've been to all of the towns and they're starting to mix them up.
That's fine.
Yeah. What's population?
We're right around somewhere between 1,400 and 1,500 people.
So as mayor, are you on the fire department and the ambulance and the school board and the
No.
water board?
We don't have an ambulance. We are tied in with Minot.
Okay.
We have a rural fire, but we have actually an amazing rural fire department. We have a very large number of volunteers, which is great for our community. Where else did you want? Just about those two?
Yeah,
What
well,
else?
are you on all the boards? And where I come from is I grew up in Pembina, North Dakota, like
Mhm.
population 500. And my dad had to be on every board because there was no one to fill these positions.
I have made it a personal journey of mine to force everyone on council to get involved,
Great.
so that I don't have to be on absolutely everything. So I have a very hands-off approach to being the mayor. I trust the people that I work with. We put the right people in the right job and allow them to do their job, and the system runs very smoothly after that. So
I like it. Yeah, let the
Yeah.
professionals be professionals.
correct.
I
Yes.
feel like as I've gone through the last 2 or 3 sessions, we see a lot of micromanagement of the legislature telling librarians and school boards and everyone how to act.
Mhm.
And
you have to trust the people that you put in those positions to do their jobs.
right.
So
Do you have any crowning achievements as mayor? Are you
we're not in the news every other week anymore. So
nice?
we were making headlines for a while because we were being very contentious with each other in our
Okay.
meetings, and we were having some staffing issues. It made the paper, that kind of stuff like that. But we've pulled that back. We are just doing the business of the city, which is kind of why is my thought in how we should be doing stuff in Bismarck. We should only be concerned with the things that make the state run.
Okay.
All these, like telling librarians how to librarian, I don't feel is in the best interest of the state and the residents. I think that librarians know how to do that. I want everything to run smoothly.
Sure.
I want the government to work as it should, in my eyes, anyways.
You know, we didn't prep this at all. This is kind of off the cuff, but letting librarians be librarians.
Mhm.
I wish my kids would read more books.
Oh,
I would love for them to set the tablet and the phone down, set the Netflix down, and I would pretty much have them read anything as long as they could pick up a book and learn about something.
Yeah. My wife is has a love for books, and she's passed it on to my daughter, which I love. My boys, on the other hand, they're too busy working to pick up a book, but their love of money and being able to have some freedom is kind of ruling their world right now. So
Oh, I have a 16-year-old feels that same way.
Yeah.
One of the Tara Hyatt, who's also running for House with me as well. Her and I yesterday went out to Surrey and met with the superintendent out there, and just kind of got feedback and talked to him about what he's dealing with. And on that same line, that was a big question, like, is the not having phones in school making a big difference? And he says it's a huge difference for them. He says that it's seen so much improvement in the students, which that's a great thing. So taking some of that AI stuff and the phones and out of their hands and then letting them be kids again and make that policy like on their own, do that kind of stuff is good.
I think that's going to be one of the greatest obstacles that generation faces is
Mhm.
screen time, and they're going to grow up with it. And I don't know when we'll as a society, get a catch on the idea that maybe our 12-year-olds don't need a new iPhone 17 Pro Max.
Yeah.
But
it's 18 now. By the way.
Is it? Yeah. Dating myself. So yeah, so you're running to be a senator. Do you have a top three, platform or top three things you want to achieve once you get elected?
First thing is literally just the well-being of the working class. Not the middle class, not the rich, not the poor, just the working class. The guys like you and me that show up, get up at the crack of dawn every day, get up, put your pants on, one leg at a time, as
Yeah.
I like to put it, and go to work all day, come home, eat supper with your family, and get up and do it again the next day. Like I feel being part of that we're literally the lifeblood of North Dakota. And everybody in this state is doing their dangest to make ends meet. And with the cost of everything, I don't know how to fix that yet, but I'll find a way. It makes it harder and harder every day to make ends meet. Groceries are insane right now. Gas is doing its gas thing right now. So that's number one. Number two would be, I'd call attainable housing. We got some major holes in the housing market right now, whether there's no starter homes anymore. People that have moved into starter homes can't afford to move up to that next home. Like the way the system used to work, buy a starter home, be there for 5 years, move up into a little bit bigger house, start a bigger family. There's a disconnect there, whether it be interest rates, whether it be cost of housing, whether it be the cost of everyday living. They're all making that so people can't move up. And I feel like that's something we need to address. My bullet points are leaving my mind right now.
Well, let's talk about that starter home and attainable housing. I have a neighbor of a customer that over the years of doing work on their neighbor's house, I've had to use their hose for, sheetrock, mud, water, or whatever. And I've chatted her up, and she said, and it stuck with me, she couldn't afford to buy the house she's in if she had to buy it now.
Correct.
And in Bismarck, I mean, I bought it 300 10 years ago. Maybe that house is worth 450 or $5, but I couldn't afford that 450 or $500,000 home at 6% right now.
I'm in the same situation. I couldn't afford. If I had to buy the house that I'm in right now, I couldn't buy it.
So like we got really lucky in that respect, but a lot of people haven't. So you really used the word very specifically. I saw you catch yourself attainable housing, not affordable housing. Well, what's the difference? Like, are we talking square feet? Are we talking price or finishes?
So I got a price point in my head right around 250, where I feel is somebody making anywhere from 50, maybe even 45 to $70,000 a year, which is a lot of money. Not a lot of money, but it's a pretty close to the median income for what North Dakota is right now. And not everybody makes that. I will be the first to admit that, but it is a two-family home or a two-family income, which is what most families are right now. They can hit that mark, I feel. And that is a comfortable spot with the interest rates right now, with the way payments would structure, with the expenses of everything in the world right now. That would be a good spot to hit, I feel. So that's what I mean by attainable. Like, if you were to get an interest, like a first time, if you weren't using the first time home buyer system, 20% of a $3,000 or $300,000 home is roughly $70,000. That's a full year's payment for both those people in that family without spending a dime.
Yeah.
There's no way you can hit that. So we got to bring that money, we got to bring that down, and we have to figure out a way to encourage. If we can't get people to move up in their housing, we have to increase the inventory. And the only way to do that is to incentivize builders to build at that price point. And there's lots of ways that you can chip away at that price point for a housing. Because right now they're building houses for 400 plus. Whether believe in the Bismarck area, they're shooting for even higher price points on houses. But in the Minot area, it's all right around the $400,000 to $450,000 to $500,000 mark. And the only people that are affording those are people that are on like their third home, and they're using the equity they built over the years to buy that home.
So to touch on that, are we, as a state, how do you bring your home prices down? Are we going to have down payment assistance programs? Are we going to help developers put in water mains, infrastructures, sewer, septic?
Yes.
All of the above?
All of the above. So if we instead of just having one fix-all program, if you use a lot of little programs that everybody can help with, you can have your counties help out, you can have your cities help out, you can have the state help out, you can even look for federal assistance.
Sure.
all these things chipping away at that, we can bring that price down, whether it is putting the water and sewer in and your gas and get those in, help have counties and cities and states pay for that. That would bring the price point down, especially if you're doing development. And there's also part of the, I want to see if we were to do a program like that where you build out, say, 30 houses, I'd like to see 10% of those houses held for schools.
Okay.
And allow schools like, I'm going to praise up Devil's Lake and Watford City have built an amazing construction program in their high schools to where they have it figured out. They're building quality homes. They're turning around. They're making close to $70,000 of profit every year and a half when they turn around and sell these. And that money goes directly back into the program, and they use to buy materials for the next house. Like, and it's not like what I would consider like a student built house. It is a quality built. Inspections are weekly. They're building a quality product to where it's worth the money that you're paying for it, and you don't have to sell it at a great discount. But you're also teaching every single trade that we're hurting on right now. Like you're building contractors, concrete guys, electricians, HVAC. Sorry.
No, that's all right. No, I really like where you're going
Yeah.
with that. Because we need that. North Dakota's been booming for over 10 years.
And this isn't just like a one city thing. This is like, I would like to see this across the state. Like little pockets outside of bigger cities, smaller cities, where they can build these things. And we can, if you want people to stay in the state, you got to give them an option, a place to live. So
Absolutely.
There's so much push and that ties into like even more points. I know you said what we've talked about. There's so many things to talk about in just a short amount of time, but with getting the trades and getting the kids, like, like my son wanting to, there's no veterinarians in our area. There's no large equine vets, and we're teaching trades, getting kids. And you're so very good too with connecting with our small businesses in town. Minot's really, after the flood, has worked so hard to build up their downtown through like local places. One of our friends owns Nickel and Dodge, and it's a like a spa. They do pretty much all the things that you would want to do, and now she's expanding and she's opening like a school to teach
correct
other people. And so she's not just growing her business, but she's growing the community and giving a place for our kids to go. We need more of that. We have opportunity to do that, but when you're so focused on putting in a second Walmart or a big corporation who is also not paying their fair share of taxes to take the burdens off of things, it's hard.
It absolutely is. And I'm
strike a
sorry,
balance.
I got to cut you. We're talking with two Democrat candidates here, and the key words are sustainable and attainable. We'll be back after this commercial break.
Base Fluke Trailers of Dickinson is a family-owned dealer with expert staff that know their products front to back. We stock over 150 units of all types and can custom order a trailer with the unique features and capabilities you require for brands you can trust. Our experienced service team is the reason we're also the best place to have your trailer customized or repaired. Count on Base Fluke Trailers of Dickinson to keep you hauling.
Come on in and experience small town hospitality and the personalized care that makes car buying a pleasure.
We know that every journey starts with the right car, whether it's school drop-off, weekend road trips, or your daily commute. We have the right vehicle for you and your family.
With trusted brands, affordable prices, and a team that treats you like family, finding your next car has never been so easy.
We pride ourselves on personal attention and quality service. Bassett Motors, where our customers send their friends.
Yeah, U.S. Cattlemen is a member organization that each member has a vote in anything we do with policy. We're representing the independent cattleman or the cow-calf guy or an independent feeder or whatever. We like to support the independent producer. talking about mandatory ID. We're talking about cool. We're talking about all the legislation that's going to be coming down with the new administration. There's going to be lots of moving and shaking. So always check us out at our website, uscattleman.org.
I'm $27,000 in credit card debt.
You have to radically do something different, because if you keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep getting what you've been getting.
Now's not the time to be doing math. The time to be doing math was when we didn't go into $200,000 of debt.
If you are freaked out and you're stuck in these debt payments and you think it has to be a part of your life, it doesn't.
We are Ladies of Another View. Join us every weekday morning at 9 o'clock a.m. as we discuss the big topics from North Dakota, the nation, and around the world.
We chat with everyone from celebrities and medical professionals to politicians, local business owners, and neighbors about the topics and stories that affect all of us.
We are unscripted and uncensored real news from real people. So join us every weekday morning for Ladies of Another View on Beck.
Welcome back from that commercial break. My name is Patrick Hart. I'm here with two Democratic candidates for District 3, that's Minot East. I'm running for House and Senate, and the name of the game today has been sustainable and attainable. And I think those are really grounded words for describing how we think the government should be ran and our communities should be ran. There's District 3 up on the TV. So you said, Natalie, you're from a farm. Where are you? Are you east of Minot, south?
So my son's family's farm is actually in Partial.
Okay.
So is where that's located. So I've lived in Minot now for at least, well, since the flood. I worked there through the flood.
Oh.
As a paramedic, I started as one of the first paramedic programs in Minot. So I've been doing that for quite a long time. But then I went and worked. I've worked in Newtown. I've worked in Stanley and Crosby, and I worked flight for a little while. So I've kind of seen all of rural Northwest North Dakota as far as ambulances and small hospitals and that kind of area for things.
Now
But I live in Minot.
You said you moved in for the flood. Obviously, the flood was very, very devastating. It happened down where I live, south of town as well. I just saw pictures from the flood of 97 in the Red River Valley, which was insane. The river was 30 miles wide at its crest. I don't want to say that I loved the flood. I was about 13 years old at the time, but I loved how the community came together, saved houses, sandbagged houses, and I wish that our communities would have that unification all the time. What was the impetus? Did you get stationed here right around that time?
No, we had just when we moved originally back to North Dakota, we were living at the farm trying to figure out, like what the plan was, what to do, and with the oil field and all the different options and what it was, and we ended up settling in Minot. My son went to South Prairie there for school, and I worked briefly, like at a bank. I did some odd jobs, but then I found my passion of EMS, and I haven't stopped doing that. And I worked through the flood as a medic is actually when we got our medic. So it's been a long time, and I can't imagine doing anything else besides this too. So
my kind of management styles, and Mike touched on it, is letting the professionals in the industry guide the industry.
Right.
And so your background in ambulance, how do you think that should be shored up or fixed?
And and that's, I'm not a career politician. I don't have a lot of political experience in that, but maybe that's what we need is people that are actually, in the trenches, in the arena, doing these jobs to guide and shape this, because it affects everything, big and little, from ambulances to small hospitals to big hospitals. To one of my biggest concerns too is also insurance and dealing with that. And we kind of have, I don't know, you look at it like, well, what can we do about how can we do this? But there are places that are fighting back and pushing back and making sure that insurance companies are held accountable. And I mean, it's not a welfare system. These are things that you paid for. So for them to be so flippantly easy to say no, one, is terrible, but also it affects our hospitals, it affects businesses, it affects everything. So
I was having a conversation just a couple of days ago about how hospitals have to charge a certain amount, and that's causing them to be broke. And that amount is, of course, negotiated by whomever.
Mhm.
So if hospitals aren't charging enough to the insurance companies and they're going bankrupt, and citizens can't go to the hospital because they can't afford the bill because they're going bankrupt,
Yep.
but the insurance companies are making multi-million dollars of profits,
Mhm.
that's quite the conundrum we have to
That's
fix.
a problem.
And in the meantime, we're avoiding preventative care. We're avoiding all that stuff just to make sure, because we can't make the bill. And like, if we had a program that would help us make sure we do our preventative care, it would help. I think we go a long ways in just reducing the overall insurance bills across the board if we were regularly going to the doctor instead of being scared to go to the doctor because of that bill.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, like I know that some of our opponents are running on like federal programs that are supposed to be helping out and the money that's coming into the state, but like throwing more money at a problem or a system that isn't working isn't really going to help fix it. And North Dakota is so unique when it comes to ambulances and hospitals and how that affects everything. Our biggest problem for ambulance companies is when you're out in these spaces outside of the, like a big city or Minot or what, even the big cities have problems is, we're an hour away. And when you have staffing issues, it's not, so you can't throw more money at things. You have to train people. You have to make sure that they're taught how to bill correctly, how to get reimbursed, because that's why we're losing so many. And that's especially in our area. So currently where I work is south of town and we cover Garrison, Max, Ryder, Makoti. There's areas of my response time that are 45 minutes for me to get there. That's not to treat you and get you back to the hospital. So imagine having a heart attack or a broken leg or something. That's a long time. And that's because we can't staff these other ones. So they close and get co-opted.
Sure.
And that's having the same problem with they're getting pushed further and further to their borders to
which stretches
fix
help
things
for everybody in town.
And running on a volunteer system is just kind of not as effective as it used to be when you have people who are older and aging out and kids have moved away and there's nobody in the system anymore. So there needs to be more internal workings instead of just throwing more money at the problem.
Okay. Is there like more volunteers, do we have to move to a salary? Do we have to fund this?
Moving to there's lots of different things, and maybe there's lots of discussions about this as far as also being new to the politics and talking about things, like being able to say that I don't have all the answers, but I have good examples and I can talk to people who do have answers, like people that I know who are also Republicans who have dealt with this, who run businesses and have ways to talk to each other is, I think, key to fix some of this stuff. Volunteer systems are getting harder and harder to do and run. And other states too, like that are rural, like Montana is using high school students, which is a great opportunity to keep that. But at the same point, there's a certain point where, do you want an 18-year-old having to deal with some of the stuff that we see and handle? It's a hard place to be.
I'm a firm believer in the solutions to all these problems that we have in the state are, like Natalie said, they have to be the people that are there. You have to have those conversations with the people that are doing the work, the people that are living in these situations. And if you're not doing that, you're not going to find the answers. So like I've made it a point, and Natalie has as well, and Era, to have conversations with as many people in our district as we can, even if they're not on our side, because they're still going to give you insight into how to solve a problem. Sure. And that's what our job is to solve the problems.
I like your touch, your nuance there, even if they're not on our side. When we're on job site, it doesn't matter if it's the boss's idea, the new guy's idea.
We all got to move to the end.
We have to have the best idea to move forward safely and effectively as possible.
And we move together as a whole. Okay. Just because we're not on the same side, we're not going to leave the other side behind or whatever. If you want to go that way, we're not going to leave, to use a job site reference, we're not going to leave the plumbers behind as we finish the project. They have to come with us.
Exactly.
So everyone has to move forward. So if you're not talking to everybody, it's not going to do you any good.
I said many years ago on a campaign trail, just off the cuff, it came out and it said, I don't have the answers, but I know how to put the people together to make them. And I didn't think about it. It was quoted back to me. Someone said that made a difference. Yeah. And I thought, I don't even remember saying it, but I hear you guys saying that as well.
Yeah. And when you're talking about like how to spend the money that we have, like there's better ways than doing it to, like I'm not going to sit here and tell you how to the proper way to build a house or do the things that I don't know how to talk about, but I know who to go to and I can go to that person. And those people are local people. They're not people who maybe, like are big corporates or take big corporate money to do these kinds of things. And they're not really invested in, do you actually know what's going on and how to fix this? Or
EMS services in downtown Fargo are very different than EMS services in Max, Garrison, that kind of stuff.
I'm like still blown away by the fact that a Minot ambulance serves Garrison.
So Minot ambulance doesn't serve Garrison, but it comes to the borders of things. So if you look at a map from where we and it's getting pushed further and further south because there's that area that's Max edge of Minot. So they have to come and meet us, but they're also getting pushed further north because they've had ambulance closures north of the base. So there's big gaps in all that area. And a lot of that also affects our critical access hospitals, which are closing and shutting down. And that's a huge problem when you've only got two big, well, Minot only has Trinity now, that's the one big hospital. So we see people that maybe don't want to go to Trinity or want other options, and they have to drive an hour and a half to Bismarck.
Right.
And they stop at Garrison on the way, and then Garrison's getting pushed to how are you managing stuff? And I think a lot of that problem comes down to holding the people who are making big money off that accountable.
What is happening to that other hospital? Is that just sitting vacant?
In Minot?
Yeah.
Yes.
It is now, yeah.
Is that an opportunity for low-income housing?
It is a building that needs a ridiculous amount of repair.
Sure.
So it's from sewer backups to boiler going down to, and it wasn't really a clinic or hospital at that point. It was more of an office building because it had been slowly worked its way down. And we have the old Trinity building sitting downtown too, but that one needs also a lot of remodeling, a lot of asbestos and stuff in the building from way back in the day.
Sure. Well, no, that sounds good. I appreciate you guys' time and input on this. I guess with that, we'll maybe cut to commercial break. Again, two Democrats here on the table talking about rural healthcare and how to make access available for all. Back after this commercial break.
Hey y'all, it's Trent on the loose. I want to tell you, Lady Blue and I, we got a lot of miles together, but you know what? You and I got a lot of miles together as well. And all I want to do is bring to you the information on how we maintain a domestic supply of food and fuel for future generations. I'm going to continue to travel the world and unearth the stories that make it possible that we can live in a free United States of America.
Welcome to Arrowhead Cleaners. Newly renovated, modernized, and ready to make your cleaning needs hassle-free. From commercial and residential wash and fold laundry services to the latest in professional dry cleaning techniques, we are dedicated to your unique needs, offering alterations, fabrications, and even custom hat making. So whether you're a busy professional, a family on the go, or even a rodeo champion, Arrowhead Cleaners is here to take your things from messed up to dressed up. Now celebrating our 64th year in Arrowhead Plaza. Are you dealing with arthritis, nerve and back pain, dry skin, or superficial wounds, but found no relief? Give Stewart's Natural Health a try. For over 4 decades, Stewart's Natural Health has been helping people and animals with herbal and natural oil lotions, ointments, and creams with a mission to help you relieve pain and feel your best using the power of nature. Discover the safe, drug-free solution to your pain, guaranteed or your money back. Visit stewartsnatural.health today.
We are the St. Mary Sisters. We're building a new facility here in Bismarck, North Dakota, for the sake of training young women to be courageous teachers in this state. The sisters will educate the younger generation to be fully alive through truth and discipline. The sisters' life of devotion and joy will make a positive difference in your community. Check out what we're up to, see what's going on, and join our mission to make a difference in the lives of the children of North Dakota.
Ashley, North Dakota is where life moves a little slower, but never gets dull. From hunting, camping, and fishing to safe streets where kids can be kids, this is the best of small town living. And Ashley offers everything you need, from healthcare to hardware to countless ways to stay active. Here, we've invested in our future with major upgrades to roads, parks, and education. Whether you're here for the day or here for life, you'll find Ashley's where you ought to be.
There's never been a better time to rediscover the style, reliability, and all-season, all-terrain fun of the all-new Nissan lineup at the new and improved Ryan Nissan. Whether it's the sleek and stylish Murano, the adventure-ready Pathfinder, or the reimagined, ready for anything 2026 Rogue, the all-new Ryan Nissan has the vehicle of your dreams at a price perfect for any budget. It's time to rediscover your passion for the road. It's time to rediscover the all-new Ryan Nissan, engineered to endure.
Hey, I appreciate you guys sticking around through that commercial break. My name is Patrick Hart, co-host from the Dem-NPL. Looks like at the screen, I currently serve as the treasurer. I guess I'm the money guy because I know everyone, so asking for donations is pretty easy. I'm here with Mike Thiesen, Natalie Mclaughlin, and we're talking about some really good things here, how to keep small towns alive, how to provide services that these community needs. The town I grew up in, Pembina, North Dakota, maybe 650, 700 people, probably down to 400, 430 people now. Obviously, there's not enough staff to go around. There's still booming businesses there. But as we see these constrictions in our small town communities, obviously services are getting stretched. So what do you think? What do we need to do to keep these small towns alive?
Just have people stick around.
Sticking around?
With the housing thing, with kind of what I touched on earlier about the housing thing, with like leaving a couple houses if we did something like that or across the state. Like we use Minot as an example. Not only would you have Minot's high school helping build those schools, or those houses, stuff like that. Also you can bus kids in from Surrey. You can bus kids in from Nedros. You can bus kids in from Burlington. You can expand that program, which again brings more people into the workforce, which allows people to stick around. Like all the jobs, specifically trades, and it's not just your HVAC guys and your electricians. You got plumbers, you got carpenters. Again, you have concrete guys, you have general laborers. Like there's guys that have made careers that are aging out of the system right now, that have spent their whole lives very comfortable. They got a boat, they got all the fun stuff, and they have a comfortable life. And we need to encourage kids, to look at those as an option. Those are an option. Yes, you got to get up early every day, but you get a lot of freedom with having a stable job too.
Well, I get a lot of confidence. I get a lot of self-awareness by achievement and by doing something, by going out and getting it done and pouring that concrete. Building the deck this week is what we're doing.
I just refinished my steps last weekend, so yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, I had to pull everything off and redo it. So.
Did you get aluminum maintenance-free rails?
No, I went with treated wood. And sealed it.
So the reason I'm on these rails is because aluminum tariffs have skyrocketed the price of soffit and fascia, and aluminum rails on decks are through the roof.
Yeah.
So sorry, I had to ask.
Tariffs affect everything. They affect medications too, and people are getting access to that. It's not just one thing or another, but having a say in all of these things is important to us as well, and a local say. And it's not just housing or young kids. We're listening to everybody, and like the farming community and the stuff that they're having to deal with that's nationwide, and the stuff that's coming up that's a big issue for them. It's all kind of, I feel like they're not getting a good representation or a seat at the table either. When they're getting there's more corporations, there's more big things in there. There's, like, let's take the money and put in an AI center. Let's, like Minnesota had a huge thing with their boundary waters. Part of moving here and learning how to, like be a North Dakotan and be on a farm and be a farm girl, I also learned how to hunt and, became part of like Delta Waterfowls group and did all these things. And whether you're Republican or Democrat or whatever, we care very much about the land, the area, what it is. And I think local people need to have more of a say in that than just people making good money out of, hey, let's take this piece of land and put up an AI center.
Passing some legislation in Washington and allowing it to overstep into our backyards is not a good look in my eyes.
Can you guys say that we are very easily touching on the fact that we should have local control over our lands?
Yes.
easy peasy, right? Like
Yeah.
it's no brainer. Yeah, we want to be able to have those conversations. Data centers has been a big thing, especially in Bismarck Northwest. They're proposing a half a dozen data centers, and the energy, the resources, the water, the amount of footprint that has on is amazing.
Don't get me wrong, the amount of money that, like myself as an electrician, if they put up a data center, I can go work there for a year and make a ridiculous amount of money during that year. But it's like a quick fix type thing. You run in, and a lot of times it's not even local guys. You pull guys from all over the country. They show up, they dump a lot of money into the community, but then once that year is gone, you got a small number of jobs and a lot of resources being used on the infrastructure. And does our electrical system in North Dakota, is it strong enough to handle all these data centers without affecting local residents?
You know, the weird kind of conversation on that is that 5 or 10 years ago, we were talking about putting money into the grid for EV, electric cars.
And we couldn't
And
handle
there was no way that we could do it.
Yeah.
And now we're putting all this money into the electrical grid for AI.
More of a consumption marker than it would have been for EVs.
Well, my strange thing with AI is that I want to let businesses have the freedom to pursue their dollars on their own. I absolutely believe that. I want AI to figure out how to cure cancer, to figure out how to cure diabetes. What I don't need is another avatar when I open up my phone. And I do find a difference in the use of those, but also I don't know how to legislate or have a government step in to say you can do this and you can't do that. So I think there's a lot of gray area with this
That's where
emerging
you
technology.
have the conversations.
Yeah, and it's quick money. You're throwing quick money at things as well. This is the benefit because it'll bring in so much money, but like at what cost? And why don't we look at some of the things that we already pay for, that you already spend money on, and make sure that they are following the same rules, that they're not getting out with loopholes and denying medically necessary care or testing or, you know, like just, you're already here. Let's fix the systems that we have here and work on them a little bit more before we just, as a quick cycle to get money and to get reelected for the next 4 years, let's put in something that could be pretty harmful that nobody really wants.
Go back on that old adage of I plant trees I'll never get to sit under. So like it should be the jobs of everybody in Bismarck to plan for, not for the next cycle. You should be planning for 30 cycles down the road.
Absolutely. So you guys are kind of new politicians. How's the campaign trail been? How can we see you on your campaigns? Do you have?
It's hard, especially in our area, which has very, very traditionally been a Republican, you know, like district. But I think a lot of everybody is feeling a lot of the ways that we do. It doesn't matter what side you're on; it's who you are. And I don't think anybody feels like they're being represented as well as they would like to be. And our group has been really, really good about, like, I don't have a lot of experience because I've never done this before, but the help that we're getting, especially between us, even Tara, the other lady that's running with me as well, I talk to her all the time. We bounce back and forth. We workshop things and talk about stuff because where our gaps are, you know, like they get picked up by the next person with us. She's very big into education and to childcare opportunities for people in the state, which is also a huge problem. And it's nice to have.
Yes, it is. But just be able to, there's lots of people in our group that have a perspective that I don't have, and which I lean on very hard to even get my ideas, to get where I want to take some of this stuff. So you as well.
Do you have a next parade? So in Bismarck, we're getting ready for Band Day Parade on Friday. It's my happiest day of the year. By the time this airs, it'll already be over, but there's about 30 small town bands that come in and they do marching up and down in a parade.
I did that back in high school, yes.
Such a phenomenal day for band geeks like me.
Yeah.
And so in Bismarck, that's the next big event. Are you guys prepping for 4th of July, or is there
the fair right around the fair is probably the next big.
Yeah, that's when we have our big parade.
And that's Surrey Fair or the State Fair?
Minot State Fair.
That's one of the longest ones, and it's 92 degrees out, and there's not a speck of shade on the whole road.
It's a great time.
My good friend Trigby Hammer started running, and he ran a single piece of candy to every kid on that whole route.
That sounds like Trigby.
And I saw him and I thought, oh my gosh, I just kind of do my wave, kind of awkward
Mhm.
wave. Once I saw him do that, I do that on every parade now. I
Mhm.
absolutely bring the energy, and I kind of have fear of missing out, not being there with you guys. So
Well, come on.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Come on,
you're
come on.
welcome. Like, come up, stay with us, and hang out.
do you guys, we're coming last couple minutes. If we had to summarize why we should vote for either one of you guys, can you give me a quick minute on why you're the right person at the right time for this position?
I think for anybody, it's just, like we talk about, like, how do you fix a system? You can sit there and complain about it and watch the news, or you can show up, or you can vote for people that might not be your same party, but are also people that are representing what you want. Like, where do you want the state to go? Do we want to just complain about the problems and be divisive and fight each other and pick special interests, or do we want to work together and fix some of these things and grow it and make it kind of the state I love? So
yeah,
I'm going to listen to you. That's the gist of it right there.
Mhm.
I've gone out of my way to talk to, whether it's from grain elevators to farmers to small business owners to big business owners. I am to schools. I want to do this job correctly if I get there. And the only way I'm going to do that is to entrench myself in my community. And if you're not talking to people, all facts of life, all walks of life, you're not going to be able to represent them properly. So
excellent. Any last, I guess, words of wisdom? We got a minute left.
no, but I mean, like, thank you. This is nice. It's so nice. I have to say, like, getting to know people in this and them being very open and very like, this is what I do. How can I help you? And stepping up, and even your show here and getting a bigger view to more people is, I get to watch everything too. It's
My
nice.
thing within the party, and it's more of a mentality of how I live my life, is before any phone call ends, you're going to hear me say, how can I help? What can I do for
Yeah,
you? And
exactly.
I feel
And
like
I think that's what we all want to do.
I want to make the community a better place. I want to make our state a better place. And I don't really have an agenda,
No.
other than helping others. So,
Yeah, neither one of us are very much like that. That's my whole job. I can't, you can't work in my business and just sit there and be like, oh, call 911 or do somebody else. You have to step in and do it yourself. So
You are 911.
yeah,
Yeah,
that is.
you
That's,
are 911. I
like
like that.
we have to do the things, like you have
Yep.
to show up and do it. So that's what we're here to do.
Well, I'll tell you, appreciate you guys being here
Mhm.
today. Thanks for taking the time. And with that, I'll just let you guys know, got a couple Democrats here trying to make the middle class, again, the eighth wonder of the world. Thanks for stopping in on Open Range. My name is Patrick Hart. We'll see you next week.